now, it is with great privilege and honor that we invite our chief guest, His Excellency Ahmed Al-Musalmi, Governor of the Central Bank of Oman, to the stage to deliver the keynote.
It is a privilege to join you this morning at a time of profound global transformation, an era in which technology is not only reshaping economies and industries, but also redefining the very foundations of trust, finance, and the future of institutions.
Good morning and welcome to the New Age Banking Summit 2026. I'm your MC, Ahmed Al-Lemki. Our honorable chief guest, His Excellency Ahmed Al-Musalmi, Governor of the Central Bank of Oman, His Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Mustahil Al-Mashani, distinguished leaders, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a privilege to welcome you to the New Age Banking Summit, one of Oman's leading platforms for dialogue, insight, and collaboration across the banking, finance, fintech, and technology sectors. Over the years, NABS has grown into more than an industry gathering. It has become a forum where ideas are tested, partnerships are formed, and the future direction of financial services is discussed with purpose and clarity. At a time when the sector is being reshaped by digital transformation, evolving customer expectations, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, data-driven decision-making, and sustainable finance, platforms such as this are more important than ever. The theme of this year, Banking in the Intelligent Age, AI, Resilience, and Real-Time Finance, reflects the new reality of financial services. Banking today is no longer limited by traditional models, physical channels, or legacy systems. It is increasingly intelligent, inclusive, secure, responsive, and connected. It is moving beyond transactions to the experiences, beyond products to ecosystems, and beyond conventional growth to long-term sustainable value creation. Today, we bring together senior industry leaders, regulators, technology experts, innovators, and decision makers to exchange perspectives on trends shaping the financial landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, today's event has been made possible through valued support of our partners and sponsors. We extend our sincere appreciation to endorsement partner, the Central Bank of Oman and Oman Banking Association, strategic partners, Sohar International, GBM, Cisco, and ACSC, and Ta'jir Finance. Our platinum partner, Oman Investment Bank, our gold partners, Al-Izz Islamic Bank and Al-Ahli Bank, and our Islamic banking partner, Bank Nizwa. We also thank our technology partner, OTEC, digital payments partner, Khidma Pay, associate partners, Infoline, Alpha Bank, United Securities, and United GCC Fund support partner, Mala'a, and our automotive partner, Shangan. Our appreciation also goes to our audit partner, Leaderly Auditors and Consultants, our media partners, OER and Alam Al-Iqtisad, and our digital partner, UMS Digital. Your support and commitment have been instrumental in ensuring the success of this summit, and we are truly grateful for your partnership. Before we begin, I would like to turn your attention to your tables where a QR code has been placed. You can now scan this code to get up-to-date information about the event, our sponsors, our speakers, and panelists. To officially commence these proceedings, we now have the honor of inviting Mr. Atulya Sharma, CEO of United Media Services, to deliver the welcome address.
Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. On behalf of His Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Mustahil Al-Mashani, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 11th edition of the New Age Banking Summit. This summit comes at a defining moment for global banking, where technology is fundamentally reshaping financial services. The theme, Banking in the Intelligence Age, reflects this shift from traditional branch-driven banking to intelligent, digital, predictive, and real-time financial ecosystems. New age banking is about reimagining relationships between banks and customers through faster, smarter, safer, and customer-centric experiences. As customer expectations evolve globally, Oman is very much part of this exciting transformation. At the outset, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to His Excellency Ahmed bin Jafar bin Salam Al Musalmi, Governor for the Central Bank of Oman, for graciously accepting our invitation to be the chief guest at today's summit. Thank you, Your Excellency. At a time when the global financial environment is becoming increasingly complex, uncertain, and technology-driven, Oman's banking sector has continued to demonstrate remarkable resilience, stability, and maturity. The sector maintains strong capitalization, prudent risk management, healthy liquidity, and growing customer confidence. This strength has been made possible not only by the robustness of Oman's financial institutions, but more importantly, by the visionary leadership and regulatory stewardship of the Central Bank of Oman. Through its progressive regulatory approach, strong oversight mechanisms, and clear commitment to innovation and responsible modernization, the CBO has successfully balanced financial stability with digital transformation, helping build and enhance confidence in Oman's financial sector, not just regionally, but also internationally. I would also like to extend our sincere appreciation for the Oman Banks Association for their continued support and collaboration in making this summit possible. Ladies and gentlemen, the importance of new age banking for Oman cannot be overstated. The Sultanate has a young and digitally connected population, increasing fintech adoption, strong institutional frameworks, and a clear national vision focused on innovation and sustainable growth. Technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, predictive analytics, blockchain, and cloud computing are rapidly transforming the banking landscape in Oman. Among emerging technologies, AI is becoming one of the most powerful catalysts of change, enhancing fraud detection, cybersecurity, risk assessment, customer engagement, compliance, and real-time decision-making. Beyond efficiency, AI also has the potential to create a more inclusive financial future by making banking faster, simpler, and more accessible. Yet, even as technology transforms banking, trust remains its foundation. The future of banking will depend not only on innovation, but on how responsibly institutions balance technology with governance, security, and human values. What makes this summit especially important is that it brings together regulators, banks, technology leaders, fintech innovators, and policymakers to collectively shape the future of financial services in Oman. After all, as Oman advances steadily towards the goals of Oman Vision 2040, the banking sector will play a critical role in enabling economic diversification, supporting entrepreneurship, strengthening SMEs, driving financial inclusion, and accelerating digital transformation across all the industries. Thank you, and I wish you all a wonderful and insightful summit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma, for the compelling and insightful address. Your words are set a strong foundation for today's dialogue, underscoring the pivotal role of innovation, resilience, and leadership in steering the banking industry for the future. And now, it is with great privilege and honor that we invite our chief guest, His Excellency Ahmed Al Musalmi, Governor of the Central Bank of Oman, to the stage to deliver the keynote address.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa as'adallahu sabahakum bikul khair. It is a privilege to join you this morning at a time of profound global transformation, an era in which technology is not only reshaping economies and industries, but also redefining the very foundations of trust, finance, and the future of institutions. There are moments in history that only reveal their full significance in hindsight. The invention of the printing press, the laying of the first telegraph cable, the birth of the internet. No one standing inside those moments fully grasped what they had unleashed. The orders they would dissolve, the possibilities they would create, the civilizations they would reshape. And yet, the leaders who shaped those eras were not the ones who waited for clarity before acting. They were the ones who moved with conviction while clarity was still forming. Winston Churchill once said, "The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. But the leader sees the turning point and acts." We are standing at precisely such a turning point today. And what we do inside this moment, the choices we make, the systems we build, the values we encode into the architecture of our financial future will echo far beyond this room and far beyond this decade. Oman is not waiting for the future to unfold. Oman is shaping it with clarity of vision and confidence of purpose. The 11th five-year development plan is far more than an economic roadmap. It is an articulation of strategic ambition in an era where the world is being relentlessly redefined and reshaped. It is a direction, and that direction demands of every institution, every leader, and every mind in this room to address perhaps one of the most defining questions of our generation. Will we continue building for a world that is fading behind us? Or will we summon the courage and imagination to build for the world that is already emerging before us? Because those are not the same world. And the distance between them is growing further, faster than most institutions are prepared to acknowledge. For the better part of a decade, the financial sector pursued one clear ambition: go digital. We digitized payments, onboarding, and customer experience, and we were right to do so. But digitization, as remarkable as it has been, was only the prologue. We are no longer entering the era of digital-first banking. We are entering the era of intelligence-first banking. Artificial intelligence is no longer a future ambition. It is being embedded into the very operating system of finance, into payments, supervision, compliance, risk, and the architecture of financial decision-making itself. And this raises a question I want this room to sit with. In a world where algorithms increasingly shape economic behavior and determine who gain access to opportunity, how do we ensure that trust, ethics, and human judgment remain not at the periphery of this transformation, but at its very center? because intelligence without wisdom is not progress. It is risk wearing the mask of innovation. Let me ground this in something concrete. By end of 2025, digital transactions represented approximately 89% of total transaction volumes across the Sultanate. Our instant payment systems now processes approximately 1.1 million transactions every single day. These are not just operational achievements. They are signals of something far more important, that trust has been earned, that the foundations are resilient, and that the infrastructure we have built is capable of supporting the ambitions of the next economic era. But the infrastructure alone is never the destination. It is the platform upon which the future is built. The question before us, therefore, is no longer whether we have built the digital rails of modern finance. The real question is what kind of economy, opportunity, and prosperity will flow through them, and whether that prosperity will be innovative yet inclusive, globally connected yet nationally sovereign, and resilient enough to endure an increasingly uncertain world. This is precisely where open banking becomes transformative. Its significance is not just technological or operational, it is fundamentally strategic and philosophical. It represents a profound shift in the relationship between financial institutions and the individuals and the businesses they serve. For decades, institutions controlled access to financial data and services. Today, customers increasingly expect ownership, portability, transparency, and freedom of their financial lives. And ultimately, the institutions that will lead the next era of finance will not be those that resist change, but those with the foresight and courage to reinvent themselves before disruption compels them to do so. Now I want to address what I believe is the most important strategic principle we carry out of this room today. Innovation without governance creates fragility. But innovation anchored in trust creates something far more valuable, and that is sustainable transformation. The history of financial crisis is a history of innovation that moved faster than the wisdom required to govern it. We cannot repeat that pattern in the age of intelligence finance. Someone said in his private meditation, "What stands in the way becomes the way." The constraints of governance and accountability are not obstacles to innovation. They are the very conditions that make innovation trustworthy and therefore lasting. And beyond governance lies deeper truth. Technology does not transform nations, people do. The true competitive advantage of any economy will not be found in its platforms alone. It will be found in its ability to cultivate visionary leadership, develop adaptive talent, and build institutions that are not only efficient, but wise. Let me speak finally about resilience, because it is the defining institutional challenge of our time. As our systems become more intelligent, they become more interconnected. And as they become more interconnected, our vulnerabilities become more consequential. Cybersecurity, therefore, is no longer a technical function. It is financial security. It is economic security. And in an era of geopolitical volatility, it is national security. Someone wrote this 2,000 years ago. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult. Resilience is an act of institutional courage, the willingness to build for scenarios we hope never arrive, to stress test assumptions we would prefer to live comfortable, and to invest in integrity before crisis demands it of us. The strength of an institution is never tested in calm waters. It is revealed in turbulence. Distinguished guests, the future of banking will not be determined by technology. Technology is just the instrument. The future of banking will be determined by leadership, strategic foresight, and by our collective willingness to shape innovation in a manner that advances prosperity while never sacrificing the trust upon which all of finance rests. Einstein once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination encircles the world." So the leaders of this era will need both: the knowledge to understand what has been built and the imagination to envision what must be built next, not incrementally, not defensively, but proactively and boldly. Oman today stands at the threshold of extraordinary opportunity, building a financial ecosystem that is digitally advanced, globally connected, innovation-driven, and nationally sovereign. The future belongs to institutions that anticipate change before it arrives, prepare for disruption strikes, and lead transformation from a position of vision rather than reaction. And under the visionary leadership of His Majid Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, Hafidhahullah wa ra'ah, Oman is moving toward that future with purpose, resolve, and the ambition of a nation that understands precisely what this moment demands. Therefore, we are not here just to observe the new age of banking. We are here to shape it. That is our responsibility, that is our opportunity, and that is our moment. Thank you. I wish you all a productive summit. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for that insightful and forward-looking insight into the sector. Your remarks have set a strong tone for today's discussions, highlighting the evolving role of Oman's banking and financial services sector in driving innovation, strengthening trust, and supporting sustainable economic growth. You've also underlined the importance of regulatory foresight, digital transformation, and talent development in building a financial ecosystem that is not only secure and resilient, but also inclusive, competitive, and future-ready. We now move forward with our next keynote for the day that outlines the future of banking. Taking charge of this is Mr. Mustahail Al-Ma'mari, the Chief Executive Officer of Oman Banks Association. Mr. Mustahail brings senior-level expertise to strategy and transformation, stakeholder engagement, and sector-wide initiatives to the banking sector in the Sultanate of Oman.
Your Excellencies, industry leaders, distinguished guests, colleagues, and partners, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. For many years, the banking industry has been anchored around one central idea: digital transformation. Strategies were developed, platforms were launched, and innovation became a priority across institutions. But today, something deeper is actually taking place. This is no longer just about transformation, it's about redefinition. The role of banking itself is evolving. Financial services are increasingly becoming embedded into the digital platforms, ecosystems, and everyday customer experience, rather than being accessed only through the traditional banking channels. We are seeing similar shifts locally. According to the recent figures published by Central Bank of Oman, the total value of transaction through the local electronic payment gateways reached approximately 3.2 billion Omani Riyal last year in 2025. That's taken me back to actually 2005 when I chose electronic business as a major, and the total value of e-commerce transaction was around 4 million Omani Riyal across the globe. But that itself is a reflecting of the rapid growth of digital financial services, increasing the customer confidence in digital banking channels. What we deliver, how we deliver it, and where we sit within the broader economy as well are all being reshaped. Technology remains a key enabler, yes, but the real shift are witnessing in towards trust-led, system-wide renovation. So the question is no longer how banks actually digitize. The real question is how banking sector is redefined together in a world that is intelligent, real-time, and deeply interconnected. This redefinition is actually being shaped by three forces. His Excellency highlighted the first force, which is intelligence. Artificial intelligence is becoming embedded at the core banking, informing decision, enhancing risk management, and reshaping customer engagement. According to McKinsey, generative AI alone create between approximately 77 billion and 131 billion Omani Riyal in an annual value for the global banking industry. But beyond the numbers, what matters most is actually the structural shift taking place. We are moving into an era where systems are no longer only supporting decisions, they are increasingly influencing them. We are beginning to see similar momentum locally. Oman has taken an important stage to position itself in this space, including national initiatives around artificial intelligence and announcement of AI-focused developed ecosystem and the recent AI City initiative. This reflects broader national ambition to build long-term digital capability and competitiveness. At the same time, as intelligence becomes more embedded, the questions of accountability becomes more important. In banking, decisions carry real consequences. As systems become more autonomous, governance must evolve alongside with it. Efficiency alone is not enough. Accountability must remain at the center. So the second force is trust, which becoming the definition currency of the banking and the modern banking. In today's environment, service as instant, instruction are digital, and expectations are continuously raising. Customer expected reliability, transparency, and control, not occasionally, but consistently. As banking becomes more integrated in everyday digital life, trust is no longer built only through physical presence or long-standing relationships. It is built through every digital transaction and every integration and every customer experience throughout. We are seeing this reflected clearly in Oman, and according to the recent figure published by the Central Bank of Oman, QR code payments recorded the highest growth among the digital payments channel in 2025, increasing by more than 133% with a transaction value approximately of 8 million Omani Riyal, almost triple the previous year. This is more than a payment statistics. It reflects growing public confidence in digital payment services and changing customer behavior as well, at scale. At the same time, the raises stakes significant cybersecurity, resilience, and digital entity and data governance concerns. Global studies now shows that more than 70% of the organization has experienced an increase on cyber risks. The recent years, trust therefore can no longer be assumed, it must be continually reinforced. And the third force is actually what brings all of us in this room, ecosystem. Bankings today not operate in an isolation. It's part of a broader and increasingly connected network that includes fintechs, technology firms, regulators, and digital platforms. We are seeing this taking shape clearly in Oman. The Central Bank of Oman has played a leading role in enhancing and enabling this evolution through forward-looking initiatives around digital banking frameworks, open banking, regularity sandbox, and payment modernization. These initiatives are certain an environment that encourage innovation while maintaining financial stability and make market confidence. What this means is that the value is no longer created within a single institution. Increasingly, it's creating across networks, partnerships, and shared platforms. These institutions that will thrive are those that can collaborate with each other within the ecosystem, adapting, connecting, and evolving alongside others. Taking together the forces, intelligence, trust, and ecosystem are not simply technological. They represent a shift in leadership itself. The role of leadership is expanding beyond managing an organization to shaping system. It requires balancing innovation with discipline, speed with resilience, and competition with collaboration. No single institution can address these challenges alone. This is where sector level becomes essential. And from our perspective in Oman, strong foundations have been already established. The Central Bank of Oman deserves a significant recognition for certain and enabling environment that support innovation while safeguarding stability and the trust across the sector. Building on this foundation, the next phase is about deeper collaboration across ecosystem. This is where Oman Bank Association plays an important role in enabling alignment across the sector by bringing together banks, regulators, and ecosystem partners. The focus is on not only strengthening the shared infrastructure or advancing the common standards, but also in reinforcing the broader pillars that will shape the future of banking: trust collaboration, sector-wide capability building, informed industry insight, and constructive engagement across the financial. In closing, the future of banking will not be defined by who adopts the most technology only, but by who builds the most trusted system, enable the most meaningful collaboration, and led with clarity and responsibility. Ultimately, the question is no longer how banks transform, but how the banking sector is redefined together. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very insightful session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Before we continue, ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased to announce the upcoming OER Live DX 2026 taking place on 24th of June. This year's event will be held under the theme, The Intelligent Enterprise, Technology, Talent, and Trust. It will bring together business leaders, technology experts, innovators, and decision makers to explore how organizations can build smarter, more resilient, and more human-centered enterprises in the age of AI, automation, cybersecurity, and digital transformation. We invite all of you to be part of our OER Live DX 2026 as we continue the conversation on shaping the future of enterprises transformation in Oman. For our next keynote speech, may I invite Mr. Ken Hapson, Regional Software Technology Leader, IBM GBM, to the stage. Mr. Hapson brings over 27 years of technology leadership experience and leads IBM's software technology team across the Gulf, Levant, and Pakistan, covering the data, AI, security, and automation. He has worked with the leading global organizations across 4 continents, helping clients derive greater value from their technology investments. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Ken Hapson.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It's always good to be back in beautiful Oman. This is, I think, the 3rd time I've taken part in the New Age Banking Summit, and it's always been a privilege to be here. Today, I want to start with a quick little story about 11 seconds in Germany. Late 2024, imagine the market is not open yet, early in the morning. The traders are all getting ready to start their day, and slowly, starting around 4:30 a.m., a set of orders for bonds, sovereign fund bonds, are coming through, right? These are separate bonds, different counterparties, different systems, and as they're going through, this bank that's receiving the orders is approving it as it's coming through based on its rule-based compliance framework. And none of it is abnormal. Everything is within the threshold or below the threshold of the bank's requirements, and nothing is abnormal, right? As this is happening, there's an agent in the back that's monitoring the system, an AI agent. And it's looking at a couple different things. It's looking at the orders coming through, right? Looking at market timing. There's a couple, let's say, central bank announcements due to come that morning at 9 o'clock. And there are certain relationships between these counterparties that's not really visible, but when you look at it holistically, you do see some relationships. And 2 of these counterparties are currently under light investigation by the banking regulators. Putting all this together, then looking at the history of the bank, across 14 years, they've seen that similar incidents have happened 19 times across 14 years, right? And immediately, the AI agent triggers a compliance flag, right? Looks at all these connections, raises a concern, messages the chief risk officer who's on her way to the bank. She's still commuting, right? With a full brief of the details, why this was flagged, where are the risks, and summarizing that there's a possible $340 million exposure for the bank. All within 11 seconds, okay? This is impossible for a human to do, right? This is impossible for any departments to look at. This is usually things that we look at after the fact, when something happens and then we do an investigation, and maybe 6 months down the line we find out that there was an insider trading incident or something similar to that. But here we were able to catch it. The risk officer came in, flagged it, started an investigation, cleared it before the market even opened, within 11 seconds, okay? These are the types of new innovation that Your Excellency was talking about that we need to look at, right? Now, let me be very frank. This story is not completely true, right? Because I'm not privileged to share our clients' experiences, but it's based on a lot of actions and a lot of factors that are true, okay? And this is the future that we're looking at. As fraudulent players, nefarious parties become more smarter, become more enabled, the technology that used to be available to only a privileged few is now available to everyone, right? Our organizations, the banking sector specifically, needs to also be innovative and fast, right? And this is why the 11 seconds is such an important story that I want to open with, okay? Now, with that said, I mentioned that there was an agent, an AI agent running in the back. Let me just level set, because there's a lot of talk around AI assistants and AI agents. And I know most of you understand the difference, but let me just level set so that there's no confusion between the two. We'll take this away from technology. Let's share a pure, simple example. We have an assistant in the office, and we have an agent. Let me use an example that we probably all have gone through. So everyone here at some point in our careers have looked at moving roles, moving companies, right? And usually we work with a let's say a recruiter, an agent, right? What do? You give them your CV, you give them your requirements. I'd love to live in Oman, find me a job in Oman, right? These are the criteria that I have, and they go off running autonomously, and they do the work for you. And they do the best work for your benefit, okay? They're not looking to place you with their preferred friends or preferred companies, but they're out to look for your best in mind, okay? Whereas an assistant is a very, very productive person in the office, does his work perfectly, right? But he needs to be told, get me a flight from Dubai to Oman for Monday morning, 18th. He'll get me the best flight, right? Get me this flight, my preference is, Oman Airlines. He'll get me the best Oman Airlines seat on there. But I need to actively tell that assistant what I want and how I want it, okay? Now, going back to the AI sector, this is where AI agents versus AI assistants becomes more clear. AI assistants are like the ChatGPT, where you go in, you prompt, you ask a question, and it tells you the answer, right? Very complete, but tells you the answer. The AI agents is the era that we're now entering into, okay? And this is where you have an autonomous system that has access to your systems, to your data, okay, and to your priorities, and is out doing the job for you autonomously. Back to that 11-second story. That system was running on its own, okay? And as we go through, we're also seeing a market and our consumers and customers who are becoming more tech savvy, right? They're seeing AI and automation around them all the time. You cannot give them, paper invoices, paper statements, even the banking applications that we used to have, right? Which is basically you go in, you check your accounts and so on, is not enough for them. They demand more, okay? And as we go through, what are the things that they're looking for? They want systems that are guided, systems that are connected, systems that are informational, systems that are personalized, outcome-driven, and omnipresent. What does that mean? If I have a savings account, if I have an investment account, and if I have a loan, all those things should be interconnected. At a central bank level, right, if I have these things with different players, different banks, they also should be interconnected, right? And the omnipresent is anytime I want service across any of those services, right, it should be available for me as if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 a.m., all right? Now, how do we translate this to technology? This is the demand that our consumers want, right? The technology that we have, let me take you through an orchestration of this, where AI comes in, sits on top, and orchestrates everything for you, right? And this is the entry of where AI agents bring their value in, okay? Let me take you through an example that we all have gone through. So we all have in our systems databases. Databases are for collecting data, transactional data, banking data, et cetera, in our systems, right? We also have data storage. These are assets that we save, so passport copies, IDs, et cetera, right? Applications. Then we also have data integration, where if you have your information, you're transacting, you have different data silos, you interact this data together, you engage the data together to see what insights it might give you, right? And then, of course, you have app integration, where most of our organizations have an application that shows and exposes the data to our consumers to see what their bank status is, what their latest transactions are, what their bills are, and so on. Very normal. It's been done for decades now, okay? But now we take it to the next level, right? Data intelligence, looking at the database, looking at the assets. Someone's passport is expiring. We should notify them. Again, nothing new. We're doing that already, right? But what other insights can we get? What other intelligence can we get when we cross data, transactional data, with our customer data, right? And then looking at data models. We don't want to do this actively ourselves. We build data models, right, that can do this for us. Where are people with high propensity to take out a loan, right? That data, that behavioral data, may tell us who we should target for possible loans, okay? And then we go into a workflow. Every organization has their internal workflows, right? Customer onboarding, credit card applications, regulatory checks, et cetera. All the workflows should also be integrated into that data model and the data intelligence, all right? Again, these are not new concepts. We've had these for quite some time. Now let's take it up one more level. Now we bring in the AI tool set. The AI toolset now allows you to look at it, all the data, all the workflows, all the models, right, and put it together and start building those agents that we were talking about. So if you're looking at propensity to take out a loan, right, instead of someone doing this, you can create an AI agent, right, that is constantly monitoring as people's status changes, as people move, right, as they take new loans, as things are happening and developing, that agent continuously, 24 hours, autonomously is monitoring and highlighting who has a propensity for a loan, okay? And of course, we cannot forget governance. As Your Excellency mentioned, governance is extremely, extremely important. As we're doing this, we need a robust compliance framework that makes sure that anyone within our organizations, within the central bank systems, as they're launching AI agents, it is controlled, monitored for ethical, behavioral, and data breach considerations, okay? And on top of this is where we introduce what I wanted to talk about today is what we call Watson Orchestrate, which is the AI orchestration. When it sits up here, it has full clarity and visibility on all your systems and data with proper access rights in place. So we do not expose anything that is not required to be exposed, okay? And with that said, you can build an agent that orchestrates everything together, right? With full compliance governance through and through, okay? Now, as IBM, we don't just, build the tip of the pyramid. We have a complete and robust system that tracks traceability. What does this mean? It means that, let's say there's a case where I'm monitoring I'm an agent and I'm monitoring a high net individual that's banking with us, right? And I'm the account manager. And I start building an agent to say, I'd love to see where he's transacting and so on. Let me see how I can serve him better. So my agent starts monitoring as he travels, as he spends, and so on. And it's giving me some insights. But suddenly it flags me that it says, this customer is showing behaviors that is similar to someone who's churning, someone who's leaving the bank, right? Now that's a huge concern for me. I need to report this. But how do I report this? I need full traceability. Where did I get this information? Similar to the risk officer on the 11th second story that got a full brief of why these transactions were flagged, right? I need to understand exactly where it's coming. So no black boxes. And this traceability is built into the system, okay? IBM has taken this and built a complete portfolio of solutions end-to-end for everything from the AI assistants and agents all the way down to the security and even storage and hardware infrastructure. The most complete portfolio you will see, right? However, we do not have the expectation that we will come and give you this whole portfolio. You have certain investments in place that you've built across many, many years. You've had certain skill sets that you've built across other vendors and other partners, even in-house applications. This system is fully open, right? And will work with any systems that you have. So we plug what your gaps are to give you that agentic capability, okay? Now, let me take you through this story. So although we are advancing so well with technology, we're still struggling with, you open the internet, and there you see news. Again, something has gone wrong. Again, there's a compliance issue. Again, there's a risk. Again, some fraud. Again, another bank has collapsed, right? This we cannot control, but what we can control is our consumers' confidence, right? We've gone through and interviewed consumers across Middle East and Africa, throughout Middle East and Africa, and we've found that 82.5% of consumers still say they purchase and build relationships with vendors and businesses that they trust. Now, you can imagine in the financial sector with your bank, that's an extremely, extremely valuable thing to have, and it's an extremely valid thing. People don't jump from bank to bank, but they need to have trust because their money is with you, right? So this is extremely important. Again, Your Excellency mentioned this. Governance, trust, ethics is extremely important. It's related to your business. It's not about what is right and wrong. It's what's good for your business, okay? Now, with that said, we've gone through and interviewed 2,000 CEOs at financial organizations across the world to find what are the basic trends that they see is important or that they see is coming within the next 2 to 3 years, very short term, okay? What they found, or what we found, and they told us, is that 91% of the respondents, these are CEOs, 2,000 across the world, say that AI agents should elevate my employees' capabilities. It's not about doing something new. It's not about creating new business models. It's not about replacing people. But they are investing in their people, and they're saying my people's capabilities should be elevated with AI agents next to them, which is very, very good point, okay? Second is that AI agents should accelerate operational velocity. What that means is anything that is transactional in nature should be automated, okay? Anything that does not need the human judgment and human interference should be automated. That brings you the operational efficiency, okay? And then the last point is governance. I will not even put a percentage there, but pretty much all 2,000 respondents said the top concern we have is governance is essential in agentic AI, okay? Now, what do we say? A lot of organizations come to me and say, so I understand all this data, very interesting. What do I do? Where do I go from here, right? I'll give you a couple points that I would say will fast track you to 2030. And 2030 I'm using as a round number, right? And this is specifically, again, done through research in our IBM organization called IBM Business Value. Okay? This organization goes through and does a lot of research in terms of what is on the mindset of these CEOs and comes up with insights of what should happen based on successes they've had, okay? So the first point is I would recommend to financial institutions to adjust their business model and rethink the C-suite, okay? What does that mean? The C-suite, as you can imagine, leadership matters. Leadership makes a difference, right? So I'll tell you a quick little story. There's almost $1 billion company in the US that recently hired a very good friend of mine from university as their chief marketing officer, okay? So this is almost $1 billion company. It's not a small company. And he went through a very, very stringent interview process with very strong candidates. And at the end, he was chosen and he was brought in. And he went to the CEO and he said, so why did you choose me? Based on all these candidates, why did you choose me? He said, degrees, you all had it. Experience, you all had it. Successes, you all had it. But the one thing that you had is that you mentioned in the interview that you play around with AI agents. You build your own AI agent. That, to me, is extremely valuable because that's first-hand experience, right? So this is what we're thinking about, is that you need to rethink the C-suite through enablement, through skilling, and through infusion of new C-suite members who are thinking AI first, okay? Second is to create an AI agent flywheel. The old days of creating an application, launching it, and forgetting about it, and it's going very well, and people are so happy, those days are gone, right? AI technology and AI usage is changing so fast. Just last year, I was on the stage, and I was talking about AI in a different form. Today, I'm talking in a different form because it's gone so far in just 1 year, okay? What do I mean by the flywheel? Use case, gather your requirements, find the data, build an application, test it, launch it, gather data, measure, and reevaluate, test it, launch it. This continuous cycle, this is what we call the flywheel. AI applications are not one build, one launch, and forget. It's a continuous evolution of this system, okay? This needs to be built into the organization's culture. Number 3 is to customize your AI mix. What do we mean by this? So a lot of organizations look at available models, right? There's Arabic models, there's the OpenAI model, there's lots of models. And if you go to Hugging Face, which is a platform that manages and exposes a lot of these models, there's over 7,000 plus models available. You want banking models, you want retail banking models, everything is there. However, it will not be beneficial for you unless you can take your models and infuse it with your own data. Okay, this is the mix that we're talking about. The model has to be yours, okay? Number 4, I'm almost there. Number 4, expect unpredictable futures, okay? So this is usually something that we don't talk about on stage. We always talk about calm and collective and the future is bright and so on. But expect unpredictability. Why? Because the nature of this technology is that it's going extremely, extremely fast, and no one, no matter who they are, no one knows really where we will land. We will land somewhere better, but how and where is not clear. Okay? What does that mean? Why this matters? As you're building the systems, right, rely on hybrid. How much skills you bring in, how much systems you build in, how much you rely on partners. The reason why I'm speaking on behalf of GBM here today is because they are our partners. How much we rely on them because they tend to be much, much faster. Other partners in the market tend to be much, much faster than our organizations individually, right? So relying on those partners, right, gives you some sort of a, let's say, risk protection against that unpredictable future, okay? And the last point is orchestrate intelligence. Again, Your Excellency, it's almost like we've coordinated our speeches together. Orchestrate intelligence, meaning bring the human and the artificial intelligence together. You need to reevaluate how your organizations collaborate with each other, how teams work together, how departments share data, okay? This is extremely, extremely important, right? And the human factor is going to become quite business-related, but quite emotional as well, right? And if you have emotional issues inside your organization, it impacts your business. So a lot of people are afraid that AI will replace us, AI will make us less valuable. You have all kinds of reports coming out that by 2027, 30% of white-collar roles will be, gone, et cetera. What I want to do is I want to share a story with you, and I apologize if some of you may have heard me tell this story before. Who knows this character? Anybody recognize him? So I won't make you shout out, but this is Kaspersky, okay? This is let's say in the 80s, 90s, he was a grand chess master. And he was by far one of the best historically for the longest period, okay? Why do I share this story? On the right here, that's our IBM system, a system that we had launched called Deep Blue, okay? This is 1996. So this was the first versions of AI. Right? It was so incapable that somebody had to actually sit there and punch in keys of what it should consider. It was pre-prompting, okay? But the system was able to play chess at a very autonomous and high level. So we thought it'd be great to challenge the grand chess master at the time and see if we can, see how we do. In 1996, there was a match. In 1996, Kaspersky beat Deep Blue, right? And he was quoted as saying, systems, machines, they will never be as good as humans, right? Our intelligence. So he won. We improved on the system, right? I say we, I wasn't really there, I was too young for that, but IBM improved on the system, right? In 1997, within a year, we came back together for a rematch. And the rematch, Deep Blue won, but it won so dramatically well, right? That Garry Kaspersky was shocked, and again, he was quoted as he was walking away to say, if this is the future of chess, I recommend nobody should learn chess, because what's the point if machines can play that well, right? You've all heard the story. Now, why am I telling this story? Because this guy, as smart and genius as he is, he didn't give up. He said, I'm going to beat this machine. Somehow I'm going to beat this machine. He went off and started researching on how to beat this AI, right? And accidentally through that, he found something through his research, which he developed into a new tournament called Centaur Chess. Centaur is the Greek mythical character of half horse, half man, like a hybrid, right? So he said, if we could put a human with the support of a machine against a human with the support of a machine, that would equal things, and then we have a good competition, right? And that was a great tournament, and it's still going on, called Centaur Chess. But what he found in that research was quite interesting. He found that what happens if you put a human and machine against a machine? Okay? Pause there for a second and think about it. I'll tell you a quick story, a personal story. When I was younger, I was very fast. I was really into sports, and I was quite fast. But now I have a small daughter who loves to be carried by dad, right? So what happens? If I'm really fast, right, but then I'm carrying my daughter who's slow, what happens? I slow down naturally, right? So it's logical to say that a machine with a human against a machine, the human will slow down the machine, right? So the machine alone should win. But he actually proved that the opposite is true. The machine with a human, almost 100% of the time, beat the machine alone, right? So it goes back to something that we have, whether it's empathy, whether it's creative thinking, whether it's abstract thinking, unpredictability, whatever the case may be. Don't forget that one of the strongest, most valuable assets you have within your organization are your people, okay? And this is how we bring IBM systems to enable and elevate your people to a level, introduce agentic AI to them all, right? Introduce it to your clients, but build strength within your organization and within the scope that you have, okay? And with that, I used to say, now I say, scale your AI journey with confidence. I used to say, start your AI journey with confidence, but now I believe we have all started, and now we're looking at scaling our journey with confidence. So I wish you all well. Thank you very much.
To deliver the next speech, I'd like to invite Mr. Hassan Al-Lawati, Technology Advisor, OTEC, to the stage. In his role at OTEC, Mr. Hassan focuses on agile frameworks, multi-cloud services, high-performance computing, and AI, helping enterprises and government entities unlock the full value of digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Hassan.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. It's been a year now since what tech has been happened in Oman serving cloud services. I would like to give you an insight what OTEC is doing and what's coming next. The most important topic today is to understand the cloud. And first slide, I put it a little bit almost techy, but it's very important to understand how the cloud is working. You need to break the cloud into 4 layers. The first layer is the data center layer. And here you're hosting your complete mechanical and electrical components, MEP. And you invest in CapEx and OpEx. And the second layer, you're injecting it with the infrastructure, compute, storage, network, load balancer, firewall. And the third layer is your software. And last layer is your application data. You're building 3 layers just to reach the 4th layer, where completely your application data is hosting. If you understand this structure, then you can plan and modernize your application better way. Now, the journey of OTEC has came a long way ago. From 2012, when it was initially the first layer, co-location, data centers, where it was co-locating a lot of racks for different sectors, oil and gas, banking, insurance, healthcare, government. And over the time, we start moving from the layer 1 to layer 2, building our own infrastructure, injecting it with Nibola services, a cloud services, Servant Cloud, which is within Oman, and then over the time, SOC and managed services, and slowly went into the AI and data management. Now, this slide is very important to understand what is OTEC. Everyone is asking, what is OTEC? Actually, OTEC is being built by Omantel, injecting all the services which is coming from the telecommunication, data centers, cloud services, IoT, ICT, complete digital solutions, and finally forming a vision of 2040, which is supporting the digital economy in order to bring the government in and all sectors to the fully cloud, servant controlled by Oman itself, 100%. From layer 1 to layer 4, again I'm saying, you go to the cloud or your application, but your layer 1, 2, 3 is not hosted in Oman. Or perhaps layer 1 is hosted here, but layer 2 and 3 and 4 still is being managed and controlled by other parties. Now we have partners, of course, from Oracle, AWS, VMware, Nutanix, and so many partners, I cannot mention the name, but the role of OTEC is to give you one-stop services, a total solution with reducing your total cost for the next 5 years' time. And we did these solutions for almost 15 organization entities, from government and oil and gas, banking, and as well as telecom. Each one have enjoyed from this kind of services. Now, since we have ejected 6 line of business, the first one was a cloud, as very clearly mentioned. And over the time, we built cybersecurity, and then we moved to the SaaS. There's a big list of SaaS, from Oracle solution to the Microsoft as well. And we also serve a big list of customers, almost 1,200 customers, with a lot of managed and professional services. We transform. We're not just giving you the cloud, but we transform into the cloud and reducing your costs. There's a big project having in demand for IoT and smart cities, which was also armed and delivered by OTEC. Last 3 years, we injected AI. We have now 4 families of GPUs from NVIDIA, DGX A100, A10, A40, and last one was H200 for the government, which is completely sovereign and completely has been implemented in Oman. The total power we are servicing in Oman is 12 megawatt data centers, Tier 3 certified, and we have multi-cloud services from ODP Cloud, we're calling it Nibola, and we have Azure Stack, AWS Outpost, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and also AWS Server Wrapper as well. End-to-end delivery, 5 years TCO. This is very important. I will break it down in the next slide. What is 5 years TCO? And how that can be integrated with your current ecosystems. Cybersecurity AI, of course, is in the DNA of our delivery and our services. This slide is very important. We managed to reduce the cost between 40 to 70% of all the sectors. 15 use cases we have done for our customers from telecom and government and oil and gas and banks as well, where we have sized their current infrastructure from the data center and infrastructure, platforms, licenses, application, data management, cybersecurity, OpEx and CapEx, and that we go and deliver for you what it will look like. We noticed accession in the expenses, especially sometimes in the licenses, sometimes in the infrastructure, sometimes with the storages and reducing the cost and fast delivery towards the latest and modernized application. This is, for us, is a dream, and we are working this, and this is hopefully is going to happen in the next 5 years' time. Since we are hosting 1,200, all of these companies and entities needs to integrate with each other. Banks with telecom, telecom with insurance, insurance with healthcare, care, for example, with the government. And we're building the ecosystem within OTEC. That will integrate all the parties together. Almost now, this integration, we're offering it with very strong platforms with the API ecosystems and completely sovereign and control intra-country. So there will be a real cloud transformation journey very fast. AI is injected. There was one use cases from oil and gas. They was trying to do, for example, seismic operation. And after the use case has been tested, they have given almost 120 users access to their seismics and geometric operations. And that was delivered on spot. So on demand, you experiment your case. And I do see the banking are coming now and using LLM as a service, but there are so many other use cases for AI particularly. This is what I was saying. We are bringing the bridge across all these sectors to interconnect with the high pathway exchanging the services, building the application, bringing the agility, and transforming it within intra-country. We are fully cloudifying this, and there are a lot of use cases going backward and forward, especially with the government, and starting from the telecom and oil and gas with the government. And hopefully BFSI will be coming as well into the sector. What is digital infrastructure? As I said now, we have 7 data centers, 12 megawatts. 3 are in Muscat, 1 is in Duqm, the biggest one is in Farq, which is 5.5 megawatt, and all of them are certified Tier 3. And soon, inshallah, within 1.5 years to 2 years' time, we'll be in Salalah. Interconnected with 1,000 racks, back-to-back connections, and servicing all of our customers. Lately, we have also delivered every data centers, particularly for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, as a DR, and customer can enjoy from this. If you remember, I said layer 1 is very important, which is your power. If that is off, your entire stack and the entire application will be in trouble. So we are offering from 3 kilowatt to 40, and the new data center can also accommodate 100 megawatt data center, especially for the AI. And all of these AI is being monitored, all these data center monitored with DCIM and AI engine application to control the heat and the power consumption. What is the cloud available on table right now? You have ODP, OTEC, cloud services called Nebula. You have public cloud, server with AI, GPUs as a service, as I said, and Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Huawei Cloud is available with us, and 3 are coming soon. 1 is already signed with the AWS Server Wrapper. That's in Dublin, but still it's being controlled by OTEC. And 2 more is coming, which is Google and Microsoft Azure. I think this slide is very important for the banks. You need to modernize your application. You need to transform from the monolithic application to microservices. But you need the platform, you need the engine to be available for you. And we are offering all type of technologies here, from Docker and Docker Swarm and Red Hat. And these are interconnecting your application with the partners, okay? Your partner, your ecosystems. And here you can make your application faster, agile, and very fast to be transformed when you need to modernize. For example, some of the customer came fintechs and they ask us, I want to deliver mobile banking and fintechs application. I do remember that was in 10 days delivered when they start micro-segmenting and using Kubernetes as services. Cybersecurity, as I told you, is in our DNA. So we are offering 4 types of zones of security, from the risk in defensive and solution offensive. So I try to make it simple for you. The SOC team, which is offering 24/7 monitoring your application, reading your logs, interconnecting dots if there is any. For example, a transaction happens of ATM in Salalah and after 5 minutes happen in Matrah, the system will alert. This is kind of interconnection is happening within the SIM as well. Threat intelligence, endpoint protection, which is EDR, NDR, is also supported within our services. And you have also the second layer, offensive, and then here you can have ethical hacking contract with OTEC, where we can do red teaming and blue teaming and even purple teaming, and we can do a lot of penetration tests and also offer you all kind of vulnerabilities assessment which has been found. The last is accommodating the complete risk which is happening within the compliance bridges, ISO 17799. If we find any breaches, with 10 zones, we are also alerting our customer. This is the products which is available from OTEC as of today, and you can pick and choose which one that suits you the most as per your business case. The most mission-critical systems, especially the payments, I do see that a lot of components have been selected to fulfill this. But nevertheless, when you're on cloud, you can license on time and material basis and on demand. You procure what you want, and at the time you deliver, so you're not buying perpetual, you're buying a subscription. You pay for subscription and on demand. So this list is quite big, and it's more than that, but I try to make it more the one that is suitable for the BFSI sectors. In AI, as I told you, we have 4 types of environment. Each one has use cases. We started initially with DGX A100, and that was particular for healthcare, for genome sequencing, and it was also for computer vision and MRI scanning and X-ray scanning. But later on, GPU is a multi-purpose AI matrix engine, and we noticed the banks are mostly coming and using it as an LLM. Most of LLM as a service, and you try to come and get a subscription for GPUs, and you putting your workload. You remember I have told you the interconnectivity between the banks and our GPUs is the back-to-back. You can monitor and test and do a POC if you satisfy. You can leverage this as a real business case. So there are also other engines with the you want to do chatbot, machine learning, deep learning, cognitive system, computer vision. All are available, but depends on the scale of your data. Data analytics, which is data lake, data warehouse, data marts, and business intelligence is also part of the OTEC product and services. You can also leverage on this, and you don't need to buy a software, you can only subscribe. We have an HPC engines, which is servicing IaaS and PaaS for our applications and our customers' application as well. Especially, you don't need GPU, but you need high-performance computing for silicons, which is x64, which is AMD and Intel, and most of your applications are running on x64 platforms. So sometimes you don't need the GPUs for that purposes. And computer vision, one of the use cases I'm just telling you here that we're putting a cameras, and that can scan, for example, suspicious behavior, and also somewhere on the bridge to monitor all the cars which is crossing by and taking the snapshot of the registration plate and try to find whether this car has been frauded or it's been theft somewhere. And maybe color of the car has been changed, registration has not been happened. And so many purposes and dilemma use cases can be fulfilled from this. We are proud to announce that when we have signed with the Ministry of Technology, MTCIT, the Omanis Marine project, which is completely sovereign in Oman, supporting the all governments use cases for AI and LLM use case, is going to serve almost 23,000 users of the government from all the PDFs and document and data which has been injected to inference and vectorize and embed this data locally with a customized LLM model, and that has already happened. Now the use cases, first one has been delivered, and enhancement of this is going to go forward, and we believe this is going to be a backbone for the government, hopefully, within the next 3 years. SaaS, we have a lot of offerings from SaaS. Thank you very much for the BFSI sector, because the eKYC, when we delivered it, it was almost 3.5 years back. I do remember when the Ministry of Interior for the voting systems, and later on start coming as an eKYC for the banks. So most of the mobile banking today, the eKYC is being running on the platform of OTEC. E-signature, we have another document management system and signed by KPI for months, which has been certified by Royal Oman Police, and that can be also signed. Contractual is mainly for contracting, and that's also supported by OTEC platforms. We have e-procurement tendering and tender processing and procurement, which is, we're calling it Jagger systems. And it's been servicing 5 big, giant customers in Oman, and one of them is the bank, which is running on this platform for the past 5 years. And here you can use it, and it is injected with AI as well now. We have transformed it from the old system to the new one. I think the summary of the message today is the cloud, which is in Oman, is matured to the level to fulfill all the sector. 1,200 customers running for the last 12 years, from Colo to the IaaS and PaaS and SaaS and managed service in cybersecurity, and lately AI in data centers. That will give you a complete freedom, okay, to pick and choose the most useful business case, meet your demands. I hope that was informative, and should you need any question, I'm available throughout the day. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to one of the most anticipated segments of the New Age Banking Summit, the presentation of Oman Banking and Finance Awards 2026. To explain the methodology, followed to choose the winners, I invite to stage Mr. Mayank Singh, Executive Vice President and Group Editor, UMS, on stage.
His Excellency Ahmed Al-Musalmi, Honorable Governor of the Central Bank of Oman, His Excellency Sheikh Salem bin Mushtahil Al-Mashni, distinguished guests, good morning. When we started the Best Banks and NBFC survey in 2010, we didn't know that we'll come so far, but I look back on the 17-year journey with pride and satisfaction. Let me start with a disclaimer. Every survey in the world, whether it is the Fortune 500, the Forbes 30 under 30, and the Bloomberg's Billionaire Index, and I'm taking the liberty of paraphrasing from an editorial of the Fortune 500 issue, which stated that every survey is an exercise in imperfection, and there is no perfect survey. When Sir Richard Branson made it to the Billionaires Index for the first time, a friend asked him, "So now you are a billionaire?" And Sir Branson retorted half jokingly, "If it is in the papers, it must be true." Having said that, we firmly believe that looking at a sector or an organization through the prism of a certain set of statistical data adds value and gives us certain insights. A research like ours is not just an exercise in imperfection, but it is also an exercise in creating all-round displeasure, as we get a fair share of brickbats more than the kudos. Despite getting the rough end of the stick at times, we are immensely grateful to all the CEOs and industry leaders who have shared their candid feedback with us, helping in making the Robust Move survey over the years. On that note, I'd like to share the methodology on which we winners of this year's Oman Banking and Finance Awards were selected. The research for the Best Banks and FLC survey was conducted by OER in collaboration with United Securities LLC. The results then underwent an intensive audit by leaderly auditors and consultants. For the Best Banks survey, banks with total assets of above 5 billion Omani riyals at the end of 2025 were considered for the large banks category, whereas banks with total assets up to 5 billion Omani riyals were placed in the mid-sized banks category. The survey was based on financial performance on various parameters over the last 4 years. During 2022 to 2025, we used 3-year averages to minimize windfall gains and to ensure consistency of performance. The survey broadly measures growth and sustainability across 15 parameters. For growth, gross loans, customer deposits, fee income, operating profit, and net worth were considered. Sustainability was measured on an organization's asset quality, productivity, efficiency, and liquidity capital position. Asset quality included NPA by gross loans and provision coverage ratio. Asset quality, productivity factorized operating profit per branch and operating profit per employee. Efficiency was measured on net interest margin, cost to income ratio, return on average assets, and return on average equity, while capital position included credit to deposit ratio and total capital adequacy. The winners we arrived at by adding their cumulative rank across growth and sustainability parameters. Similarly, for the finance and leasing companies, can we change the slide, please? Similarly, for the finance and leasing companies, we considered 13 parameters across growth and sustainability. Growth was tabulated based on gross leasing assets, net interest income, operating profit, net worth, and net profit. Sustainability was judged on asset quality, productivity, and efficiency. These were further divided as follows. Asset quality was broken up into non-performing assets to gross loans and provision coverage ratio. Productivity was measured based on operating profit per branch and operating profit per employee, while efficiency included net interest margin, cost to income ratio, return on average assets, and return on average equity. The sum of growth and sustainability gave us the final winners. On the qualitative side, awards will be presented to organizations who have blazed a trail based on innovation, impact, and contribution to Oman's strategic vision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. And now it is an honor to invite on stage our chief guest, His Excellency Ahmed Al Musalmi, Governor of the Central Bank of Oman, to present the Oman Banking and Finance Awards. I would invite Mr. Atulya Sharma and Mr. Saeed Al Mashini, Deputy CEO, UMS, to kindly join His Excellency on stage. Our first award for the day goes to a national technology player helping build the digital foundations of Oman's future economy through its work in cloud, data, AI, infrastructure, cybersecurity, and locally hosted digital capabilities. This organization is supporting the country's ambitions for digital sovereignty and innovation-led growth. The award for National Leadership Award in Cloud, Data, and AI Infrastructure, Driving Oman Vision 2040, Digital Economy Transformation goes to OTEC. Our next award goes to a banking institution whose name remains deeply connected with financial leadership in Oman, with its scale performance, customer reach, and continued contribution to national economic development. This institution continues to set benchmarks for excellence across the banking sector. The award for national banking excellence and leadership goes to Bank Muscat. Our next award recognizes an institution that has demonstrated consistency, adaptability, and strength in a highly competitive financial service environment. Through its focus on disciplined growth, customer-centric finance, and market resilience, it continues to play an important role in supporting individuals, SMEs, and businesses across Oman. The award for excellence in financial growth and market resilience goes to National Finance. Congratulations, National Finance. We now train the spotlight to a bank that has made digital transformation a clear part of its customer and business strategy, from digital banking channels to innovation in payments and technology-led service delivery. This institution continues to strengthen the way customers and business experience banking. The award for Best Digital Bank of the Year goes to Sohar International. Congratulations, Sohar International. The next recognition of the day goes to a technology pioneer whose work continues to support the digital ambitions of enterprises across the Sultanate of Oman. With deep capabilities in enterprise technology, hybrid cloud, infrastructure, cybersecurity, digital transformation, this organization has played an important role in helping business modernize, scale, and stay future ready. The award for outstanding contribution to Oman's enterprise technology goes to GBM Oman. We now turn to an institution that has continued to strengthen its role in serving Oman's corporate and business community through its focus on integrated banking solutions, customer-centric service, and support for enterprises. This bank has demonstrated strong commitment to enabling business growth across the Sultanate of Oman. The award for the excellence in corporate banking goes to Ahli Bank. Our next award recognizes innovation in business banking and digital convenience, designed to support wholesale and corporate banking clients. This platform reflects the growing importance of secure, seamless, and mobile-first financial services for businesses operating in a fast-moving economy. The award for Best Business Mobile Banking Application goes to Al-Izz Connect by Al-Izz Islamic Bank. Next recognition celebrates an organization that has been closely associated with technology-enabled business services in Oman, with its focus on digital business process outsourcing, IT-enabled services, customer experience solutions, and operational transformation. This organization continues to help enterprises modernize and improve efficiency. The award for National Excellence in Digital Business Transformation goes to Infoline LLC. The next recognition celebrates a bank's continued investment in corporate digital banking. Through its neo-corporate internet banking platform, the bank is empowering businesses with faster, safer, and more efficient access to payments, approvals, transfers, and transaction services. The award for Enterprise Banking Platform Award goes to Bank Dhafar. We now recognize a financial institution that represents a new chapter in Oman's investment banking landscape. Launched as a dedicated corporate investment bank, it is building capabilities across advisory, capital markets, transaction banking, trade finance, and research. Supporting Oman's wider ambition to deepen financial markets and attract investments, the award for Emerging Investment Bank of the Year goes to Oman Investment Bank. This award honors a digital payments platform that is helping simplify everyday transactions for customers across Oman. Through its e-wallet, QR payments, person-to-person transfers, merchant payments, utility payments, and mobile-first services, it is contributing to a more convenient and inclusive digital payments ecosystem. The award for Digital Wallet Excellence in Consumer Payment goes to Khidma Pay. We now honor an institution that continues to lead the growth of Islamic banking in Oman, which it focuses on Sharia-compliant innovation, customer-centric solutions, and sector leadership. This bank has played a major role in strengthening Islamic finance across the Sultanate of Oman. The award for Islamic Bank of the Year goes to Bank Nizwa. now turn to a landmark achievement in Oman's capital market journey. By bringing together flexibility of real-time trading with the structure of an open-ended mutual fund, this product has introduced a new level of accessibility, transparency, and innovation for investors. The award for the excellence in exchange trade mutual fund innovation goes to Oman Gateway Fund by United Securities. Our next recognition celebrates a national institution whose work is central to trust, transparency, and responsible lending. As Oman's official credit and financial information center, it supports better credit decisions, strengthens financial inclusion, and provides critical infrastructure for a healthier financial ecosystem. The award for National Excellence in Credit Information Infrastructure Award goes to Malaa. We now recognize a global technology leader helping enterprises build secure, intelligent, and AI-ready infrastructure. With a strength across networking, cybersecurity, data centers, automation, and AI infrastructure, this organization continues to support the secure digital transformation of businesses and institutions across the region. The award for Enterprise AI and Secure Infrastructure Leadership Award goes to Cisco. The next award honors a finance company that has continued to modernize the customer experience through digital channels, through its secured mobile application, digital payments, online service requests, and faster customer access to financing services. This institution is helping to redefine convenience in non-banking finance. The award for Digital Finance Transformation Company of the Year goes to Ta'jeer Finance. We now celebrate an institution whose purpose is closely linked to one of the most important aspirations of Oman families: homeownership. Through subsidies, housing loans, tailored financial services, and continued support for citizens, this bank remains a cornerstone of Oman's housing finance sector. The award for Housing Finance Institution of the Year goes to Oman Housing Bank. The next award recognizes an organization that plays a pivotal role in strengthening collaborations across Oman's banking sector. By representing the industry, coordinating with regulators, supporting policy dialogue, and promoting banking excellence, it continues to advance the broader financial ecosystem of the Sultanate of Oman. The award for Banking Ecosystem Advanced Award goes to Oman Bank Association. now move to an award that celebrates digital banking progress with clear customer impact through its transformation roadmap, digital business expansion, platform modernization, AI investment, and customer-centric initiatives. This bank continues to strengthen the future of digital banking in Oman. The award for excellence in digital banking initiative for the year 2026 goes to Ahli Bank. The next recognition takes us to the automotive sector, honoring a vehicle that brings together design, technology, comfort, and everyday urban practicality. With its bold SUV styling, intelligent features, panoramic technology, advanced safety systems, and four-wheel drive capability, it stands out as a strong choice for modern city driving. The award for Best Urban SUV of the Year goes to Shangan Uni S four-wheel drive. We now recognize a company bringing together technology, learning, and purpose in ways that serves both institutions and society. Through its work in digital learning, HR technology, multilingual e-learning content, and banking sector training solutions, this organization is helping banks build stronger capabilities while supporting wider knowledge development. The award for innovative digital learning products for the banks with a social relevance goes to RAB Consulting. Our next award is for the best bank in the mid-sized bank category. The winning bank has topped in the OER United Securities Best Bank Survey on the following parameters: NPA, gross financing, provision coverage ratio, operating profit per branch, and operating profit per employee. Overall, it tops the charts in sustainability, asset quality, and productivity. The winner for the best bank in the mid-sized category is Bank Nizwa. The next award is for the best finance and leasing company in Oman. The winning company has emerged as a winner in gross leasing assets, net interest income, operating profit, net worth, and net profit, operating profit per branch, and operating profit per employee. It ranks number one in growth and productivity. The company has consistently proven itself as a market leader in the FLC sector. The winner of the best finance and leasing company in Oman is Ta'jir Finance. The next award is for the best bank in the large banks category, and the honors is shared by two banks. The first amongst these is the bank that has time and again proven its consistency and excellence with their financial performance and best practices. It leads the ranking in sustainability, asset quality, efficiency, capital position. These being measured on the following: non-performing assets to gross loans, provision coverage ratio, net interest margin, cost to income ratio, return on average assets, return on average equity, and total capital adequacy. The first win of the best bank in the large bank segment is Bank Muscat. The next winner is a bank which is supporting the broader diversification and global integration priorities of Oman Vision 2040. It has operationalized an international branch in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, established a presence in the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, and signed a strategic memorandum of understanding with the East African Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture to serve as a preferred banking partner for chamber members operating in Oman. On the Best Bank survey, it was #1 bank on all growth and liquidity-led parameters such as growth in gross loan, customer deposits, fee income, operating profit, net worth, and credit to deposit ratio. Overall, it was the #1 bank in growth, productivity, and liquidity. The win of the best bank in the large banks segment is Suhar International. We now move to the presentation of mementos. Our first memento is presented as a token of appreciation to our audit partner, Leaderly Auditors and Consultants, for their valued support and contribution to the New Age Banking Summit of 2026. We also take this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation to the Central Bank of Oman for its continued guidance, support, and leadership in strengthening Oman's banking and financial ecosystems. Before we conclude the proceedings, we would like to welcome His Excellency Sheikh Salim bin Mustahil Al Mashani to the stage to present a token of appreciation to His Excellency Ahmed bin Jafar bin Salim Al Musalmi, Governor of the Central Bank of Oman, in appreciation of His Excellency's gracious presence as the chief guest of the New Age Banking Summit 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the conclusion of the Oman Banking and Finance Awards 2026. Before we proceed, may we request all our distinguished award winners to proceed to the stage once again for a group photo. Thank you, Your Excellencies, and congratulations once again to all our winners. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now proceed to a short networking break. We invite you to enjoy the refreshments and connect with fellow guests. The program will resume in 20 minutes. Thank you.